But it's great to be here with you. So we're back into the Andrew Leedham book, Unstoppable Self-Confidence. That's what we're here to talk about. And specifically the chapter 11, which is to reclaim your superpower. Yeah, you have superpowers. You know that? Yeah. Well, hopefully today or by the end of today, we can figure out what just those superpowers are for you. But reclaiming your superpower, your natural successful mindset. How do we get that back? How do we stop being the biggest burden on our success? How do we stop getting in the way of our, how do we stop blocking our own blessings? I do that all the time. All the time. No, I don't want to go out to this. No, I don't want to socialize to that. And I'll stay home, right? And then guess what? You missed an opportunity to meet people. You missed an opportunity for whatever blessings were there for you. All because, why? What stopped you from doing it? What stopped you from going? Was it? Were you worried about what people would say? Were you worried about what people would think about you? What were you worried about? There's no need to be worried. You know why? Because you're absolutely amazing the way you are. You just don't recognize it. You're just too dang hard on yourself. You know, think about this. Think about this. You have a friend that's going through a difficult time. What would you do for that friend? What would you do for that friend? They're going through a difficult time. Something's up. Something's going on. What would you do? How do you swoop into action? What do you do for that friend that's in need? What do you do for that friend that's in need? Maybe call them, right? Maybe tell them that they're amazing, right? Remind them of how important they are to you. What else would you do? I mean, some of us would go to great lengths to help our friend or somebody in need. Now let's flip the tables. You're the one in need. Do you respond to yourself in the same way that you responded to your friend in need? Do you treat yourself the same, with the same compassion? It's okay, it's going to be all right. Don't worry about it. Things will get better, you know? Or that great saying is, everything usually does work out. It does. When times are very stressful, just some way, somehow, we always manage to make it work. No matter the situation. It may be difficult, but we get through it. But can we change the way we get through it by how we approach the situation, how we deal with ourselves, instead of going through a tough time and saying that you're inadequate, that you are undeserving, that you're stupid, that you're not smart, that you can't be anything you want to be? Because you wouldn't tell your friend that. You wouldn't tell your friend that they couldn't be that. No. But you are telling yourself that you can't. More than you tell other people. Why would we do that to ourselves? We're blocking our own blessings. We're getting in our own way. If only we could be in our minds that outward-facing friend that we are for others. For ourselves. What's that going to take? How much change is that going to take? How much discipline, how much learning do you need to get there? It's a big thing. Starts out on page 254 with a Richard Wilkins quote. You are a superhero pretending to be an ordinary person. That means we're all superheroes to some degree. We all have unique skills. We all have things that maybe somebody else can't do. And sometimes we take that stuff for granted. We don't even recognize that we have unique skills. We're like, oh, Joe Schmo down the block or whatever can do the same thing. Yeah, well, there are a lot of people that do the same thing because there's only so much we can do. There's only so much one human can do, and like conquer the world, whatever you want to say, if it's a field, accounting, business, technology, education, whatever it is. We can't be good at everything in life. How could you? I don't think anybody is. Nobody is. Everybody has their weaknesses. Everybody has things, their opportunities for growth, we'll call them. Everybody has them. What are yours? Can you identify them? I don't know. But you are a superhero. You need to remember that. You're a superhero. You are. Take a moment. Do some daydreaming, he says. Do some. To open your eyes and, more importantly, your mind to what's not only possible but probable for you. Probable for you. Open your mind to who you can become, what life can be. Are you struggling? Are you going through some tough times? Do you wish things were different? Can you articulate that? Can you define it? When you say, I wish things were different, what do you wish they'd be? Sometimes we're just like, I'm fed up with this situation here, right? And we just throw our hands up and we're like, we're done. I'm done. But less often do we think about what is it that would have made us happier, right? For the long term. What could it have been? I don't know. We just say, nope, we're done. We're done. We don't give it much thought after that. We just say we're done. We're not feeling good about this situation. In your mind, picture a person. Picture a person you dream of becoming. The grandest version, the greatest version of who you are now. Really go for it. Don't stop at anything. You want to be a supermodel? Be a supermodel. Anything, whatever you want. There's no limitations at all to what you're thinking about. None of them. None of them. You doing good so far, daydreaming who you want to be? Now look at who you become. See the person you are now in that picture in your mind. Think of it. See and more importantly, feel the incredible things that you have achieved. See all the incredible, astonishing potential within yourself that you have unleashed in this daydream, that you were able to think past today, past now, past this present moment. See the calmness, the certainty, the serenity that's radiating around you, just like a little halo. See that? A little halo. Fear, worry, anxiety no longer are a part of your life. They're not. They're not. You just calmly deal with whatever comes your way. Whatever comes your way on your journey, because it's inevitable. Things will happen on your journey. Always. We can always count on something going wrong. Another shoe will drop eventually. When you get through the first storm, there'll be another storm. There'll be a few more storms down the road on your path. It's a fact of life. But we have to grow from these situations. We cannot contest them. And we certainly can't say that we're unworthy or unable or incapable of getting through it. Because you know what? You're here. You're here right now. You've been through grist mills. You've been through tough times. You know what it's like to be in a tough time. But this little slump that you're in is not one of those tough times. No. Why are you still in a slump? You already went through the slump. You went through the grist mill. You went through the tough times. What did you learn from it? How are you making yourself better? Because if you're just fighting to stay the same place, we're fighting the wrong fight. We're fighting the wrong fight. We need to grow beyond where we are today. Beyond. Feel how amazing it feels in your daydream of who you want to become or who you aspire to be. Soak it in. Soak it in. Enjoy it. The real you. The person you are destined to be, that is true, the one you are destined to live. Okay? You always have to choose a path. Do I want to do this or do I want to do that? Which direction do I want to go? But remember, you have to dream to get somewhere. You have to dream, right? You remember as a kid playing, dreaming? You know, you had like little plastic figurines that didn't even speak, right? And it was like you had a whole world going on in your world. Why can't we as adults do that anymore? What's stopping us from dreaming like we were when we were a kid? The reality of life, the stress of life, what's happening in the moment, I don't know. But how can we get there? How can we get there? The first step in all of this is to control your mind. That's the first step, right? Taking control of your thoughts. Getting rid of the negativity in your thoughts. Getting rid of the negative people in your life. The ones who are the naysayers, right? We don't need any more naysayers because for some of us, ourselves is enough, right? Who needs another naysayer in their life? Nobody does. Surround yourself with good people. Good people who want to see you do well, who have your best interest at heart. That's what's important to do. So on page 258, does another quote here by Richard Wilkins. Our greatest, I love this quote, by the way. I'm going to say it twice because it's pretty impactful. The greatest frustration is not that we don't know what to do. It's that we know exactly what to do, but we still don't do it. Our greatest frustration is not that we don't know what to do. It's that we know exactly what to do, but we still don't do it. Listen, I can tell you 100 stories about how that is relevant in my life. And I'm sure you can think of 100 stories of how that is relevant in your life. In fact, we're experiencing them every day almost, right? Like we know we need to change. We know we need to get out there. We know we need to move on from some things, but yet we stay still. Right? Whether it be an unhappy relationship that's been unhappy for so long and you're still in it. Why? Some people stay in it for 20 years. An unhappy relationship. Why? Because you tell yourself that the kids. So because you decided to be a mother, it's a life sentence? Or a father, it's a life sentence for you? You're stuck, that's it. You had a baby, it's over? No. Do not spend your time unhappy. This is your life, not your kid's life, not anybody else's life. This is your life. And if your life requires change, doesn't matter who else is impacted in it, believe me, it will work out. It will always work out when you put yourself first. Because think about it, in the current situation, you're not who you are. You're not your authentic self. You're putting on a front for your kids, too, in this scenario, right? You're pretending that everything is hunky-dory. Everything is great. No problems here. But yet you're crying yourself to sleep. Crying when you get the kids off the bus, driving to work. Whatever the situation may be, you somehow told yourself that you're stuck, that you have nowhere else to go. You know what to do in that moment, right? You know that you need to leave. You know that you need change. You know that you need to get out of that situation, but yet you don't do it. That's the frustration. That's the frustration you're experiencing. It's not because of anything else, but because you know what you need to do and you won't do it. It's like a job too, right? You're becoming unhappy with your job, all this stuff, and you need to change, right? Because otherwise it's not going to get better. It's not going to change itself. We often just sit here and just pray or think or believe that no action is going to make it go away. Let me ignore that. Let me pretend that didn't happen. It doesn't go away. What happens is you become a victim to it. You become complicit in the old thing. You tell yourself that you need to stay put, that it's somehow your fault. Somehow you're the reason why this chaos is happening in your life. So you tell yourself, oh, I can't make these changes because it's too big, it's too huge. And you just put up with it. But it doesn't go away. It'll show its face back up in a couple of months, weeks, days, who knows? It will certainly show itself back up. And the second time that it shows up, the third time that it shows up, it gets even more vicious. We become beasts almost because of the impact that it has on us. We so bad want to get away from it, break out of it, right? That when it shows back up after it's been laying low for a while, we lose our mind. I mean, who wouldn't? You're not a bad person for losing your mind, okay? What you need to recognize is that you're losing your mind because you've ignored you and your needs that led to that demise. Yeah. Why are you ignoring you? Do you not matter? If your kid says, I need a snack or I'm hungry, I'm pretty sure you fix them one. But you're not allowing yourself to eat. Doesn't make sense. Why are you the bottom of your totem pole? Everybody else comes first. But you? No. I can wait. For what? Till you're dead? Till we have no other we can't even live anymore. No. I tell you, however long we walk this planet is too short. Way too short. The beauty of life, it's beautiful, it's precious, it's one shot. Right? This body, this is your vessel walking this planet. It's all you got. This is it. Your body. You need to love it. Stop comparing it to what other people look like. Stop telling yourself that you are not beautiful. You're not worthy because of the way you look. I mean, that's just silly. And I'll tell you why. Because think of the words, and I've said this before, many of you around here, think of the words cute, beautiful, Sexy. What does it mean? What does that mean to you? I can guarantee you what you think is sexy, I don't. Or maybe not, or maybe so. But that's the point, is that we all have a different definition for what beauty is, what sexy is, what perfect is, normal. Normal's just a setting on my washing machine. That's where that stops. There's no such thing as normal. None. So going back to that point about my version of cute, sexy, beautiful, your version and everybody else's in between is so broad. If somebody says you're not sexy, just tell them they have bad taste. I'm sorry, you have bad taste. That's it. That's about it. That's about it. Why are you going to live your life repeating that one person who said that one comment to you when there's almost 8 billion other people that you could just turn your cheek this way and you'll find them? But no, we're going to spend 3 months in a cave depressed, beating ourselves up, right? Becoming even more unhealthy, because that's what we do when we're in those situations. If you're anything like me, I just eat, stuff my face. Food is my comfort. It is. Eat. I do have an eating disorder. Even though it's in control in this current moment, doesn't mean that when I'm feeling low, that a drive-through doesn't seem to be a great thing for me to do, right? Or a pot of spaghetti always makes me feel good. That's unhealthy. So now I'm taking something, I'm responding to somebody who said I'm not beautiful, cute, sexy, or whatever, and now I'm torpedoing myself even more because of what one person said. Think about the amount of power you have given that individual over your life in that moment. Whereas if you just responded, you have bad taste, and you turned your cheek to the other 8 billion people that are here on this planet, you wouldn't have spent it for 3 months in a cave. Wouldn't have done it. What you need to know is that you are a superhero. That you could be just as, you can have a just as fulfilling life as anyone else. Because you're a mom or a wife or husband or father, whatever, doesn't mean that's a life sentence. It's not. You are still you. And you were you before you had kids. You were you before you had a spouse. You were you before any of that. You know, the best example I can give you about not giving up, well, I have two, but one that we all can relate to. You ever watch a baby try to stand up or walk? Stand up is scary, fall back down. But that determination of getting to the end result, to the goal of standing up, is unwavered. Because we all do it. So how do we tap in back to that kind of mindset when nothing else matters and failure is an opportunity to try again? I didn't get up this time. I couldn't stand up this time. And now I'm on the ground again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get back up. Get the courage and the strength to get back up and do it. Then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're running around the house trying to chase. You can't even figure it out. I mean, like, you can't lay your eyes off of your kid, that kid. That kid is zooming everywhere, all over the place. There is nothing that is stopping that child. But if somebody tells you you're ugly, or you're not capable, you don't get back up. You don't do that. Most of us go like this. Whew. That hurts. And then we get in our thoughts. And let me tell you, this little thing between your ears, that's a terrorist. Okay? It terrorizes you. It makes matters worse sometimes. Because then you'll sit in our thoughts, and then all of a sudden that one thing now becomes all of the deep things in your past that left you to feel guilt, shame, and humiliation. And as if that one episode's not enough, now you've got the past, the demons from the past coming up and grabbing you and pulling you down and validating that person's response to you, that person's comment. So it must be true, because that terrorist between your brain is trying to figure out why did they say that, and then connecting to past things that have happened to you, only to validate that person must be right. That didn't do any good for you or the situation at all. It took one thing and it multiplied it by your entire life. It's not necessary. You didn't need to do that. There was no productivity. There was nothing productive about that. Nothing. We need to learn to just let things go. We need to learn to not let things impact us so much, unearth us, turn us into villains, if you will, but villains of our own self. We become self-destructive, engaging in behaviors that are not good for us. It happens. So how do you stop it? What do we need to do to get out of this situation? Well, first we need to get out of our own way, right? We're the ones that are causing it to perpetuate. We're the ones that is causing it to be something that was minor to something that was major. You need to care for yourself. You need to have a routine, right? What's your self-care routine? What do you do for you? How do you get yourself out of a funk, right? Because it's certainly not engaging in bad behaviors. Certainly not engaging in unhealthy behaviors. That's certainly not getting you out of the funk, right? What do? Pray. Make TikToks, right? We go for a walk, maybe. Yeah. I mean, you can take yourself out and have a favorite meal. I mean, not all of us will, indulge completely. I mean, it's completely okay to have a regular meal, not binge eat, right? Or drink or anything like that. That's not good. Get out, blast music, right? Dance a little bit, call a friend. Let me tell you, the one thing that gets me most is that we have people in our circles. We do. We do. Neighbor, friend, it doesn't matter. Don't underestimate who somebody could be on your personal coalition, your circle. Don't underestimate who those people are. Because if they're anything like us or you, right? When we go back to what I said in the beginning, which is if you have a friend in need who's going through a crisis, right? And they're challenged and they think they're just worthless and nothing, what would you do for that friend? Oh, probably send him a card, get him flowers, right? Meet him for a drink, go to their house, stay on FaceTime with them for 3 hours, make them laugh. But when you're in those shoes, something happened to you and you're feeling worthless and you're not feeling good, we just go, whew, close our mouths. We don't want to talk. We don't want to share. We're embarrassed. You know, I've been doing life coaching on this platform for 3 years now. And I've come to the point where nothing surprises me at this point, right? I've heard a lot. I've heard it all. But there's one common thing that I find, which is people think that things that happen to them or situations, no matter how crazy and wild they might be, is unique to them. As if nobody else on this planet is going through or had been through or will go through what you're going through. And that's just a false statement. Beyond belief, no matter how sensitive it is, how batshit crazy it seems. So we become tight-lipped because we're embarrassed to share what's happening. We're afraid that if people hear about these things, that they may change their opinion of us. Oh no. Oh no. There's one thing that you need to be comfortable with, and that's being you, through and through. No cheating, no lying, being honest with yourself about who you are and what's happening to you and what's going on in this moment. Do not be afraid that because of who you are, you're going to lose friends. You don't lose anybody when you stand up for yourself either. You don't lose friends. You don't lose parents. You don't lose family. The only thing you lose when you stand up for yourself are the naysayers, the people who want to control you, and narcissists. Those are the only people you lose when you speak your truth, when you share your story. Your story is not unique. I know that might be a positive and a negative, the way that comes across a little bit. You're unique, but the situations are not infinite, right? Everything has a name, right? They're all a part of vocabulary. We can articulate what's happening. Nobody's going to doubt you, no matter how crazy the story is. It's important to be you. Unapologetically, 100% authentic you. And you do that through sharing and communicating your truth. And when you're in time of need and time of crisis and things just don't seem to be normal, right? There can't be anybody else going through this stuff. You're wrong. Reach out. Talk to somebody. You'd be surprised You'd be surprised when you open up to somebody how they could relate to you perhaps, or they can find somebody or help to relate to you in some way, or give you some good advice, or tell you like what we want to hear in those moments, which is going to be okay. We'll get through this, right? You know more than anybody else in this world that no matter what, things usually do work out. No matter how bad it is, no matter how this is, there's always a path forward. It may not come right away. It may not be immediate. It may not be understood. But after the dust settles a little bit and the initial, stress and reaction of whatever it is that you're going through is gone, you do know from past experiences that there's always a way forward sometimes. And all that fear and worry that you put into this situation that's already stressful just torpedoes you into the ground. You ever wake up and feel sick? And you're like, oh no, this can't happen right now. Not this week. This cannot happen right now. I cannot afford to be down. I cannot afford to be sick right now. When shit hits the fan for you, do you say, I cannot afford to be stressed out? Do you stop and pause the same way you do when you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I think I might be getting sick. I can't afford that. Oh no. Can we train our mind to think about this stress and pressure to be that moment of like, I can't afford to be sick. Can't afford this right now. I need to focus on what I need to be focusing on, right? To here and now, and all this other dust that's going on will just work its way through. We need that level of faith. We need that level of optimism. You've taught yourself time and time again that it will work out, that it will be okay. You'll get through it. Time and time again. And you got through it. So now when that next situation comes or shows its ugly face to you, because it will. You know why? Because one thing is for certain, right? Well, actually there's 2, death and taxes, right? But I say 3, death, taxes, and another bad event. Unfortunate event. I mean, that's a given. So if you know that, right? Why is it every time it shows its face, it's like, oh my God, why me? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's destined to happen. Right? And most often than not, it's out of your control because you wouldn't allow it to spiral that far out of control if it was in your control, would you? No. You didn't want that. No. And I know for a fact that you didn't want it, but you're here and you're in it. And that's not the point anymore. How do I get through it? How do I get to the other side and come out stronger than I was before? Well, it takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of reflection. We need to learn truly how to cope. There's one thing about our culture, at least the culture in America, is that we just want to squash, put it on the rug, don't talk about it anymore, and move on. Move on. How does that work for you when it's 3 a.m, you can't sleep, you're stuck, and all of a sudden all these things that brought you guilt, shame, and humiliation from your past are just popping back up as reminders that You know, you don't deserve to be happy, right? As reminders that you can't sleep tonight, no, because the little terrorist between your ears here, your brain, is ruling the roost. Is it your brain's roost or is it your roost? It's yours. Silence the beast. Silence the beast. If you really think about it, your life as a whole, all of your experiences you've been through, if you really, really, really think about it, who is the one person that was the common denominator in all of the situations? You. You. Yes, you. Yes. You. You. You were there for all of them. Why do they keep happening? Because you're not learning. Why do I keep choosing the winners, not the winners? Why do I keep choosing the losers? Right? Why can't I find a good person? Every time I find somebody, they're losers. They're not the Prince Charming or the princess, what a queen, whatever, of my world that I've ever dreamed about. You know? They're losers. And what I've come to learn through all the people that I work with and even myself, that I'm finding the losers, or we're finding the losers because we're not putting ourselves first. We're not ready to be in a relationship yet because we're too focused on who that Prince Charming or Princess Charming is and how many checks on my checklist that they can check off. But I hate to tell you, nobody's going to check every single one of those check marks, okay? Check that. Check that now. Okay? You're never going to find it. And you're always going to be dissatisfied because you've concocted in your mind this dream person who doesn't exist. They're their own person too, just like you. When you come together in a relationship, you're not necessarily, it depends who's doing the talking, but I don't see it as a merge. It's not a merge, because if we're merging, then we're taking away things that we were used to in our own lives. Why do you get mad at me for not liking the string beans? I hate it. Doesn't mean that I hate you. I just don't want to eat the string beans. Is that a problem? Because you like string beans, I don't like string beans, I'm forced to like string beans? Come on. Come on. If it was your kid, you wouldn't put string beans on your kid's plate. I know you. Because you know. So why is it good for one and not good for that? Why do we respond differently in these things? I mean, across dimensions of our life too. I mean, most of us feel like 100% confident in our jobs and our roles and who we are. But when we leave work and we drive home, that confidence goes boom. So we overextend ourselves at work. Work becomes our life, right? Because it's where we feel good the most. So I'm going to work extra, I'll stay a little later. I have no problem with doing that. Because you know what? It's much better than the alternative, right? Yeah. You have one life to live. You were given this blessing, this ultimate thing, right? I've always said the creation of life is both purposeful and magical, that it even created you. You are not a mistake. No, you were meant to be here. And you're here, but yet you're spending most of your time here telling yourself that you don't belong here. That you have no business being here. That you're not good enough to be here, or not lovable, or whatever. The only person that you need to make happy in your life is you. That's it. Happiness doesn't come from other people either. That's a big myth. Right? I just want to be happy. I want to find a good person and be happy. You're not happy now? Well, if you're not happy now, you're not ready to find a good person, because you won't. You'll find the losers. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. So how do you find your own happiness? How do you develop that? Where does that come from? It's retraining your terrace between your ears. That's where it comes from. That's where it comes from. Taking time for you. Engaging in self-care. Building up your self-love. Loving who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly natural. And if you don't love yourself, then you have a lot of work to do. You sure do. Because we all need to. There's a lot of people in this world who go through their entire life and they never know what that feels like. What it feels to love you and be fully in charge and control and confident in your abilities and who you are and your contributions to people in the world. You need to define that. You need to take the time to figure it out. It's possible. I'm a living testament of that possibility. And there are a lot of people in this room, like my moderators, for example, who also are living testaments that self-love and achieving that is possible. Feeling good about yourself is possible. Everything is possible. You feeling good is possible. You having the relationship of your dreams is possible. You being confident on top of the world, just as you are at work, at home, is possible. The only time it's not possible when you keep telling yourself no. So I think today's message was more about dealing with getting yourself out of the way. That has been the single most thing in your life that has blocked you from everything. Right? Just like that, you have a social event going on and you're at home and you're just like, can't figure out what to wear. You're feeling a little, bloated. I'm just not going to go. And you missed out. You missed out because you couldn't fit in your pants. Buy another pair of pants. Buy another pair. Wear yoga pants. What doesn't matter, Expand and be flexible. Don't think about things in such a singular path. There's multiple ways to get to the same end. You don't need to wear that one outfit that you knew damn well wasn't going to button when you put it on, but you did it so hastily so you can look at yourself and do what? Tell yourself no. Tell yourself you can't. Tell yourself you're not good enough, pretty enough to be in the presence of others. You did it to you. Nobody else was in your room putting on that pair of pants. You did it. So enough is enough. Push back, right? You wouldn't put up with anybody in your life for very long if they were consistently bringing you down, but you've spent your entire life putting yourself down. It's time to explore the possibility of being whole and fulfill your obligation of being happy. And how you do that is putting yourself first. Engaging in self-love, caring for you. Get a routine, walk, water, sleep. Get things going. It doesn't happen overnight. We go up and we fall, but we need to be that child. And we need to get back up again. The child will walk, right? Except you get knocked down 3 times and you just want to roll over. But a child, who we all were, who we all come from, who we all were able to do, when we were trying to stand up for the first time, we never gave up. Because you're walking. You have it in you. You are a superhero already. Life is not over. No, you just need to remember what it takes. Nothing in this world is going to be given to you on a silver platter. It doesn't work that way. Because if it does, well, first off, I wouldn't even want to deal with people's personalities if that was the case, honestly. Right? The entitlement kills me. But the point is, right? You need to work for it. You need to change. You need to not give up. You need to continue. If at first you don't succeed, you try and try again. All in the name of happiness. All in the name of growth and development for you. Because you deserve it. You're not a mistake. You belong here. You're important, you're beautiful, you are loved, you are kind. And I certainly appreciate you for spending time with me and listening to me rant on Thursdays. We'll continue on with the book next week, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next Thursday, I will be here. I'll see you in a week. Have a happy Memorial Day and be amazing, because you are. I just feel so good right now because I'm in the presence of superheroes. Now go use your powers and be amazing.